house. That house where some people claim that he had 50 rooms. Absolute falsehood. I've gone to IBB's house 2 times.
Oh, you've been there?
Yes, to talk to him. It was IBB that first told me that, Jide, you need to write a book on the military. You know too much about the military. When I was discussing with him about armored tanks, I asked him, I said, which, because he was an armored officer, I then said, okay, tell me your favorite main battle tank. Is it the T-92 Russian tank or the MAI Abrams? MIAI Abrams. Okay. I said, tell me. IBB now described the two and said, in terms of his resilience, I will go for the T-72 Russian tank because it was used during the Gulf War.
Okay.
Then he said, in terms of the electronics component,
okay, the gadgets and
yes,
all.
he will go for the American M1A1 Abrams.
Okay.
That both of them are quite good.
No, but they had their own,
yes,
peculiarities.
M1A1
exactly.
Abrams was named after one of the American generals. So
okay.
they used to, that area where Abibi built his house, white people used to live in that neighborhood. And as children, they used to go pluck mangoes that did not belong to them. Abibi then said he never knew that one day he will eventually build his house in that area. You know, as kids, what is the big deal in plucking mangoes? And then you flog a child in that manner. Honestly, I'm happy for one thing. The governor is not in town.
Okay.
But people like his commissioner for education, science, technology, and innovation, Engineer Lawan Wakilbe, visited the girl in hospital. I hope we can see those pictures. You see, at least the state has shown
that they are taking responsibility,
yes,
exactly.
compassion, you know, and the hospital bills
exactly
have been picked. But this fellow needs to go to jail. We need to set the right example.
Exactly.
If people start seeing him in the neighborhood, you know, after a few days, no lesson has been learned.
Sure.
The wife who was finished should also go to jail.
Absolutely.
Let them, they can even have a fresh solemnization of marriage, a fresh wedlock inside marriage, so that we know that they are united
exactly
by
wickedness and evil.
Is
this transferred aggression or outright wickedness?
No, this is sadism.
Sadism.
Because it takes a man who is truly a sadist to decide that a 5-year-old is the best object to vent whatever issues he had within him. Because somebody who is wicked will probably give the girl maybe 2-3 strokes.
True.
But he's a sadist. Because and I put myself in that position because those of us who grew up in the big cities do know that we all did this.
Yes.
Yeah, we all did. Exactly.
As kids.
I was born on Lagos.
I
was born on Lagos Island. And from our house at Koilole to Asadun Dokepopo, it's about 1 kilometer. So we spent nothing less than 15 minutes plucking mangoes, plucking oranges, plucking agbalumo.
Yeah,
is the English name for it?
Apple, Indian apple, something.
And that's what we did. Of course, they will chase us, but nobody's going to tie us down. Because they will put a lot of these red rags. But like my people say, curses don't work on children.
True. Yes, even effigies. You put effigies
exactly
to scare both birds and human beings.
We remove it and put it somewhere and take whatever we want and go out. And they even put on all these airballs that they put on. We'll go there, we'll remove the coins, eat the eggs, and nothing will happen to us.
If you grew up in Ogbomoso, for example, and Ilorin as a child, you will say that you didn't pluck mangoes on your way to school because you see mangoes lining the streets. You know?
Guava,
yes.
you know.
You see, even inside government secondary school in Ilorin, there are plenty of mangoes. People will breach their walls and go and pluck. Sherry mango in those days, I joined other children in climbing trees. I was a very good climber, climbing trees to pluck mango, not in our yard. But when we got to Okene, when my dad was transferred to Okene, our house was surrounded by 5 mango trees. So we had
Abundance.
different varieties of it. So, but snakes were also always on those trees. That was what scared us. But every child, you know, on his way to school will see a mango tree and throw sticks at it, pluck it.
Is
It's
it
not
a psychiatric problem? Maybe it's not
there are many
stable,
people walking around in
you
our
know.
country who are imbeciles,
You know, maybe something is not right upstairs.
who have issues, you know. But we just see people, we think that everybody has sanity.
Absolutely,
No,
exactly.
there are different levels of insanity. You see people, the way they talk. Somebody was telling me today that what's going on TV, that both guests and anchors, all of them have anger issues. May God not let us have anger issues here. May God, they say, what is going on? Both anchor and guests in our country these days, increasingly, they have anger issues.
And it becomes a shouting match.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So, and they will call that during an interview. I mean, so what's going on? May God save us. Oh.
It seems that we've developed a very veiled skin towards insults.
Exactly.
We don't take criticism easily.
True.
People who don't agree with it because everybody now is looking for validation.
Yes.
That's the
And
danger.
everybody assumes that he's right.
Everybody-
And the
nobody
other
assumes
person is
they're
wrong.
right.
It's just sad.
Okay, look at this scenario. There have been riots in Nigeria since independence. But normally it comes from
That's the girl.
it comes from a particular part of the country. Now the people from that particular part of the country now says they are no longer interested in doing riots. Take the riots to your own zone and do it. They start calling them names.
All right, gentlemen, we need to move.
You see the girl,
Yes.
engineer Wakilbe and co went to see her in hospital. She's a very strong girl. Even if an adult was flogged like that, oh my God.
It's sad. But all right,
That's
gentlemen.
engineer Wakilbe
Yes.
on the right, representing the governor. They went to see her.
It's a good thing that the Borno State government, you know, is taking
Yes.
responsibility for the health.
And the police have promised that justice will be served on the guy.
Justice must be served.
Maiduguri,
Exactly.
Borno State is my second home. I can say that
After
anytime.
Ilorin.
Yes. This case will prove to me whether my friends in Maiduguri in Borno State mean what they say. We've been told that this guy will be prosecuted.
Yes.
Justice will be served. We will follow it up.
Exactly.
There are many ways by which I
This
can
child-
find out.
this child
But
abuse.
even if I don't go to that place, I know too many people there. There are many ways by which we can find out whether government will ensure
Okay.
that this guy pays for
Heavily
his sin
for it,
or not.
exactly.
Because he has to be punished.
Exactly.
Can he stand up to his own age mate in a fight?
And do that kind of nonsense.
Then you are beating a little girl
All right, gentlemen.
in that manner.
Let's move straight to our next conversation. A former governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekarau, is the latest to criticize the coalition announced by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Shekarau criticized the potential capacity of the coalition, casting doubt over the viability of the movement. He further stressed that the failure of the coalition to influence the National Assembly's ratification of emergency rule in Rivers State exposes its weakness. BK, let's start this way. What do you make of Malam Ibrahim Shekarau's opinion about the opposition coalition announced by the former vice president over its inability, you know, to influence the decision of the National Assembly concerning the state of emergency? First of all, do you agree with him?
To a large extent, I agree with him. I think that, yes, these are early days. You
Okay.
cannot write them off at this stage. But they failed the first test. That's the way I can describe what has happened. Because I read a story where someone was saying, oh, don't worry, this emergency
stand.
declaration will not stand at the National Assembly, that the National Assembly will not make it happen. You know, people always think that Nigerian politicians, whether they are in Labour Party or PDP or ABGA or SDP, are different. There's no such thing. Some of the people who are in Labour Party today were in
Normally.
the PDP. Some of them were in the APC.
They were cut from the same
Some
cloth.
were in ABGA.
Okay.
Cut from the same cloth. Who then saw Labour Party as a special purpose vehicle through which their goal
Can be achieved.
can be achieved. Some defected at the last minute because they saw an opportunity that with the way Peter Obi was going and the need, the desire of the Southeast to be heard,
Okay.
they stood a good chance of winning. So many of them went in from the PDP, a good number of them from the PDP,
Especially
a
from that
good
region.
number too from the APC, especially from the Southeast.
Okay.
The first test of the true character of those individuals came when the leadership of Labour Party told them to reject the jeeps.
The official vehicle.
Those
The
guys said,
SUVs.
no. You don't know what you're talking about. We ain't rejecting anything. They refused to reject. And they then said, those jeeps are useful to us. We need,
to move around.
we need the jeeps
carry
to
out
move
our
around.
duties and
You,
all.
as leadership of the party, you didn't provide us with working tools. You didn't give us jeeps. You are telling us to reject. That was the first signal to me that, look, all of this attempt at puritanism is just a waste of time. So what did we see? They collected those jeeps. Many of the people in Labour Party are moving, they are defecting. Some of their members
En masse.
in Anambra, they've defected into
APC.
APC. In Edo, we are seeing them defecting into APC.
Local government champion.
In the National Assembly, we are seeing them defecting into the ruling party. We are seeing PDP members defecting into, in the National Assembly,
Yes.
we are seeing them defecting into the ruling party. Now, you defect into a party when you are convinced that you share
Common values.
some values with them. So, I agree that if the opposition was wrong, this declaration by the president should have been shut down in the National Assembly. In the first day, we saw initial gra-gra in the House of Reps. Initial
exactly.
gra-gra.
We saw the arguments.
But what did it amount to? It was an impotent gra-gra, leading nowhere. In the Senate, what did we see? They went into a closed-door session. 64 had already signed. When they give you the feeling that, oh, nobody signed this and they just use voice
Voice
vote, forget them. Don't always believe them.
Okay.
64 signed.
Okay.
And then the decision had been made in that closed
Doors.
closed session. The decision had already been made to agree, at least an overwhelming majority, to agree with what the president had done.
Okay.
Never, ever bet on the Nigerian politician. Never, ever bet on the Nigerian politician. The Nigerian politician, they will quarrel amongst themselves, they will shout, they will promise hell and brimstone. You will see them the next day, they are holding hands. I'm not talking about the kind of holding hands that Natasha talked about. That's not what.
Had to bring that
That's
in.
not what the kind of.
That's
holding
not what
hands-
we're talking about.
They are not. They don't talk, when they hold hands. They don't necessarily squeeze the hand that they are holding. But we know what.
It's metaphorical.
Yes,
Okay.
that is, so not they don't squeeze the hand. They may hold hands. But you are busy abusing. I mean, your fellow Nigerian, even trying to kill a fellow Nigerian because of a politician. You need to examine your brain. The Nigerian politician is not who you fight for. I say this I'm not afraid to say it because it is the truth. We need to tell ourselves the truth. Those suffering from self-delusion, those delusional people who are allegedly journalists, who say that Babajide cannot criticize the president. I've criticized the president now. What has happened? They have their own bosses. Let them criticize their own boss. Let's take it from there. And we are saying, at least today, politicians, I'm saying that, don't bet. The Senate president merely wanted the Nigerian people to see how their people voted. And when you said they shouldn't have used voice vote,
yes.
What are you talking about? It's part of their rules. Why didn't we hear nay? One person shout nay. Did you hear?
Or even coming out of the chamber and saying that he said nay.
Well, no, see, it's like when they are doing marriage. The officiating priest.
Is there anyone here?
He says, if you do not say it, then forever.
Keep your peace.
Button up your lips forever. Why didn't we hear one? The presiding officer called it 3 times. Benga 3 times.
And nobody said.
And 3 times nobody had the courage to say nay. Even if there are just 2 of you,
You're on record.
with conviction, 2 of you who have courage. Nobody said nay. So what are we talking about? So if they cannot work on the opposition in the National Assembly,
when the tensions are high,
it shows clearly that they have no influence over those people.
Okay.
Once the opposition, and this is not the first time, people vote in bipartisan fashion once this kind of issue comes up. I've seen this so many times in my life. I've seen it. Look, it was the Nigerian media that stopped Obasanjo's 3rd term. I've said it here many times. We had a meeting. The then Senate president called us to a meeting at a hotel. We were the ones who told him, and I know that Eniola Bello and many other senior journalists will recall what I'm saying. We were the ones who told him, let all of those lawmakers show it live. Let's see whether some of your colleagues will have the courage to, because each person, they were taking the vote one by one. You must first talk and tell us where you belong.
Okay.
After the first day, and the lawmaker's house was attacked, nobody was ready to openly say, I support.
Exactly.
Many of them ran away. They couldn't say. That's how 3rd term failed. Any other person who tells you the story of how 3rd term failed is a liar. It was here, he came, Senate President Unamani came to us here and said, please, tell me what to do. And we told him what to do.
All right, gentlemen. We need to go on those break. But GKB, the former Kano State governor actually said something. He said the coalition lacks the structure and the party backing necessary to challenge the incumbent. When we come back from this break, I'm going to be asking you, what do you think is missing in the opposition coalition announced by the former vice president? We'll get to talk about that right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Still journalist Hangout.
And cable, great quality, now with the new look.
So there is a small problem. Despite all the entertaining ads we've created for you, some of you still haven't tried our services. Come on. First of all, we are a licensed microfinance bank. Sorry about that. For instance, you can open a business account with us and get our POS with it. It's good for your business.
99.99% reliable.
I love it.
Our card, it dey work.
My money no dey hang.
You can open a business or personal account with us in minutes.
Ai na bude na daga wannan kujera.
Our customer care is available. Abby? So, when it comes to reliability, security, convenience, and speed, you only need one bank.
Join millions of happy customers. Download the MoneyPoint app or find an agent near you to get started.
This ad is a MoneyPoint ad. Don't forget that.
All right, if you just joined us, it's still journalist Hangout. I still have BK right here and GKB. So before we went on that break, I asked you, the former Kano State Governor, she said something that this coalition lacks the structure and the party backing. What do you think is missing in this opposition coalition, as announced by the former Vice President, for it to be a force to be reckoned with?
Don't forget that the former governor of Kano himself is coupling together, if I can use that word, a coalition of his own.
Okay.
Basically, ultimately to become a force and to snatch power, if not for the president in 2027, at least to be big enough in 2031 for that purpose. So as far as it's concerned, what the Atiku people are doing is basically a jima, as well in Lagos, a jama of something to bring on board for the sole purpose of fighting the president. And that's why he said what he said. Because when I saw it, I know exactly where it was coming from. Because that very day when they called a press conference, and they said at the press conference that they are going to influence members of the National Assembly to reject the president's proclamation for Rivers State. A die was cast.
Okay.
So at that point in time, something must give.
Yes.
They are trying very hard to show Nigerians that they are up to the task. But you must know the difference between an accidental president and a prepared president. There's always a lacuna.
True.
So you don't look a lion in the mouth. Yorubas will say, for the dog to go,
politician.
for the dog to go to the tigers there and come back alive, he must bow.
True.
So what you've done at that point in time is that you promise Nigerians under 24 hours, you are going to get enough members of the National Assembly
frustrate the vote.
to make sure the thing doesn't go through. Of course, the president will do what he has to do. And exactly that's what he did.
Okay.
That's why after that, even the coalition themselves have gone quiet, like a whimper. If you look at the scenario, the El-Rufai Brigado, a week earlier, has disappeared since the River State thing. Because don't make a promise of what you cannot keep in politics. Because it's our perception. And the perception today is that as far as the coalition is concerned, it is a DOA. It's dead.
On arrival. BK, let's look at the individuals involved in the coalition. In your opinion, is it about the interest of Nigeria and the Nigerian people, or is it about the interest of individual ambition ahead of 2027?
If you read the story, Senator Shekara was saying that some of them just want political
irrelevance.
They want to contest. They have ambitions. And they are trying to see whether they can use this coalition to advance their interests in seeking elective positions. So And it is that greed. The opposition in Nigeria doesn't always do what it takes to ensure that it gains power.
Okay.
Greed
Ego.
is at the heart of their failures. You should be prepared, for example, to sacrifice for the group.
Okay.
To say, okay, we are tired of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what do we do? Let's come together. I'm ready to sacrifice. I'm ready to allow a younger person to contest. Whatever would make us disunited. If it is my ambition that will constitute a threat to the unity of the group, I'm prepared to drop my ambition. They are not usually prepared to do that. Atiku, for example, you should, at this stage, expect that Atiku would want to support a younger person so that that younger person can get the support of the opposition and contest against President Tinubu in a position of strength.
Okay.
But Atiku is as desperate to be president of Nigeria as anybody can be. He has lost on numerous occasions, but he sees himself in the image of Abraham Lincoln. He sees himself as the Abraham Lincoln of Nigeria, the man who failed multiple times but eventually became, I think, the 15th American president. And the man who said, no man is good enough to govern another person without the person's consent. We used to use this quote in those days when we were campaigning in the university. So Atiku sees himself in the image of Abraham Lincoln. In fact, he even referred to it. And as long as people like Kwankwaso are there, they don't see any reason why Atiku should still be contesting when they are younger than him are still there. So how they will come together is the problem. And I think that what Shekarau is saying now, they shouldn't, instead of abusing Shekarau as they are doing, they should actually sit down and ask themselves, what do we need to do?
Going forward.
What should we do differently to ensure that we defeat the ruling party? Because it's possible to defeat the ruling party. Even the pattern of the last election showed that, look, if they were united, they would have defeated the ruling party by an audacious margin.
Exactly.
But to come together is the elephant in the room. And when you speak the truth to them, they don't want to hear. Nigerians are by nature hurtful of the truth. That's why we have many enemies, because we will speak the truth. The truth is, they have to sit down and plan properly, and each and every one of them must be prepared at any point in time to sacrifice for the collective. Don't see yourself, oh, I'm too good to step down for this person. Oh, no, this person met me in the game. Why should I be the one to step down for him? That was what Kwankwaso was saying, you know, just before the 2023 election. In fact, he got angry when it was suggested to him that he should step down for Peter Obi. But such attitude will never bring home the trophy. I can tell you, in football, I know footballers that are not on talking terms. Two players of Bayern Munich, they were not on talking terms. But if one had the ball and he saw that
the other one,
his enemy is in a fantastic position to score, he will give him. But they don't talk.
It's about the team.
It's about the team.
Not, okay.
It's about the team. They don't talk. You know? So this is the way it is, a give and take thing. Shekarau is saying this is a good idea to come together and fight the ruling party. But the way things are now, there is no structure. Even in some of the big parties,
Okay.
this coalition has not been well received. And because it's not well received, the big people within the parties may not support them. That's the point that he made. So instead of abusing him, calling him names and all that, listen to what he's saying. Don't beat up the messenger.
Exactly. Look at the
About
message.
because
Okay. All right, GKB, let's do a little comparison.
Okay.
Because when you compare, this opposition coalition as announced by the former VP and the 2013 merger, 2013-2014 merger that led to the formation of the APC, which brought about, I think, 4 established parties, the AMP, PAC. What is the difference? Or do you think, are there no basis for comparison here?
Well, there's always basis, but you have to understand one major factor. The leaders of the merger in 2013-2014 were willing to sacrifice personal interest for the group party. Because they are taking on a behemoth in the form of PDP that has been in power for 16 years. And as of that point in time, we are controlling the majority of the states in Nigeria.
yes.
That's not the case today. The case today, SDP has no governor. PDP governors are moving in different directions. And a lot of people are migrating to the APC. There's no equivalent of MPDP in the APC as of today.
Okay.
Yes.
No equivalent. No NAPC. That's it. And don't forget, the then Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu was coming with 6 governors. And the
From
then
the Southwest.
Major General Buhari was coming with 12 million guaranteed votes.
Yes.
Okay, from the CPC.
So those are the things that are almost set to drive the process forward. They don't have that now.
There's no person without guarantee of.
Nobody. Atiku cannot guarantee any number of votes. Apart from BBC Hausa or VOA Hausa, El-Rufai cannot guarantee any vote outside his nominal enclave. You understand?
Okay.
And if they should even join with and that's even not the main cause. The main cause is are Nigerians ready to jettison a southern presidency in the middle of their tenure? I'm not talking about Tinubu as a person.
Okay.
I'm talking about the fact that we expect a Zapana
Okay,
to
so
be president.
Well, that's assuming that they cannot bring somebody from the
That's
south.
where I'm coming. So it's part of the things that have made them work. That if they are then willing to now say, fine, you want to get rid of a southern president, let's bring a southern candidate.
Another southern, yes.
That to me
That
is
could
the
be a game
greatest
changer.
of
a game changer.
If that southern candidate is strong.
That's the X factor.
It will show clearly that
They are ready
they are not trying to take power
from the south.
for selfish reasons.
Okay.
You know, because while, for example, would we have a situation in which we said, okay, power should shift. People like El-Rufai fought for power to shift to the south, whereas from the same north, some people were still contesting in the primary election.
Even
Yes,
the presidential
yes,
election.
Yes. So I think that if they come together and Atiku gives up his ambition and supports a younger candidate
From the south.
and they resolve to back that person wholeheartedly, that could really be
Emphasis on the wholeheartedly.
yes, no, not that you back and
Back,
then,
you know,
half-hearted
half-
backing.
exactly.
No, you know, because people back and on election day they do something else.
Because if this should go this way and the coalition should come up with another candidate, I can guarantee you that they are going to push every politician who
To
is not a
support.
northerner to come into the fold, just for the sake, because I spoke to some governors, and that's their lacuna. That unless the person is a southerner, nobody in the south today, I don't know about tomorrow, are willing to let go.
But you see, the problem, the issue also is that there's a long time between now and 2027. Even 2 weeks is a long time in
24
politics.
hours.
You know,
24
so let
hours.
us see what happens. They should not be written off completely, and I don't think that they should see what Senator Shekara has said as writing them up completely. It's just drawing their attention to what needs to be done.
So forming a coalition right now is not coming a little too late.
No. The time is right.
The time is right.
The time is right. So they can keep working hard at it.
Okay.
And keep sacrificing. That is what will take them there.
Okay.
The sacrifice that we are not talking about is not on the pages of newspaper or going from TV station to TV station to be splitting hairs.
Okay.
That's not the solution.
All right, let's take a trip to Rivers State this time. The emergency rule in Rivers State has continued to generate mixed reactions. Following the latest explosions at oil and gas installations in the state, the suspended state governor Siminalayi Fubara has denied any links to militant groups, warning against attempts to incite violence or economic sabotage in his name. Reacting to trending videos of explosions, Fubara urged security agencies to investigate the sources of the videos and take action against those responsible. Okay, GKB, I'll start with you. Governor Siminalayi Fubara, denying links to militants, and he's saying that he's not even planning such association. Your thoughts on this story?
There is something called statement after the fact.
Okay.
Because just 2 weeks ago, or even last week, it was the same Fubara who was asking militants to keep their powders dry and wait for further instructions. It was not written. He said it with his own mouth.
He said to
The
youths.
youths.
They
Exactly. Let's just keep it.
No, they don't use militants.
Oh, yeah, youths.
he didn't say militants.
That they should keep their.
They'll receive instructions.
That they should keep their powders dry, and they will get instructions. So that to me is a trigger in any shape or form. But I'm glad that he has now come out to redefine or remodel his position to show that he's willing to work for peace. Because without peace in Rivers State, the military administratorship, if there's a word like that, the sole administratorship is not limited to 6 months.
It can be extended.
So it's in everybody's interest, including Fubara himself, to ensure that there's peace and stability in Rivers State, pending the end of the tenure of the 6 months that the president has done. Without that, like Obasanjo said, and like Obasanjo did, if it doesn't meet the parameters that led to the original declaration, or things are still as bad as they were before the declaration was made, there's always room
to extend it. Okay, BK, he is calling for peace, saying that he's emphasizing that governance and development can only thrive in a stable environment. But I've heard comments, and also even coming from GK, this is not they call for peace. Someone said that it's coming a little too late. They should have been calling for peace since. Your thoughts on this?
When he made those remarks that day, telling the youths to await instruction, I asked him on this program that, what do you mean by that? Do you want to incite them to violence?
Exactly.
He said, okay, try it now. I dared him to try it because I knew that it will not be taken lightly. So now he can see that the table has turned 360 degrees, and he's also concerned about the fake videos that people are posting.
Exactly.
There was this video of a burning oil installation, and they claimed that it was the Port Harcourt refinery that was on fire. And many people, the children of anger, those that Ruben Abati called the children of anger, they got up and they were saying, you see the same refinery that they said they have repaired, they by themselves they put fire to it because they want to steal money. We see all those things on social media. But these stories were not true. One particular girl on Facebook even went as far as arguing with people that no, this is the Port Harcourt refinery. There are people who are already gripped by evil. the only thing that titillates them
It's bad news.
is bad news. If you bring good news, they are not happy. They will even abuse you. It's only bad news. So when she was told that, no, this story is not true, she got angry. How Nigerians, some of who went to school, would just believe anything that they see on social media is what beats me. I don't understand. I wish I understand why Nigerians behave like this. You will see some videos. On close examination, it will be clear to you that it's not Nigeria. But you will see somebody who will be arguing.
Yeah.
Somebody that go to school, went to school will be arguing that, no, this is Nigeria. What do you want? It just, you know, it's like discovering that that thing is not true is already bad news to him. Discovering that bad news is actually, that particular piece of bad news is actually fake news is something that makes him sad. So, now the governor is saying, let me even quote, it is also important to warn bloggers and social media hirelings to stop forthwith their campaign to create an atmosphere of tension, chaos, and anarchy in the state.
Exactly.
As their fake reports and posts have triggered enough wrong decisions that will not help the state to move forward. This is good coming from the suspended governor. And frankly, this is not the time for chest thumping. This is the time to let the people of Rivers State appreciate the need for peace.
Sure.
Because you need peace if you want to return to your seat.
Exactly.
Nigerians do not want Rivers State to be on fire. The president does not want to tolerate it. Has come up with the emergency rule proclamation, and he has received concurrence from both chambers of the National Assembly. That is a very significant statement that they can come together to say, yes, we support what you have done.
Exactly. Now, looking at this issue of spreading fake news, because most of it, the governor even said that they are doing this thing just to exploit the issues surrounding Rivers. Fake news, purveyors of fake news, so, you know, those who spread it. Should there be tougher penalties for people who do this thing? We're in the world of AI.
Yeah.
And deep fake and all. Should there be tougher penalties?
Some countries already moving in that direction, though I do not agree with the level of sanctions or censorship that is coming. But one cannot but empathize with those in power. Especially when you know that certain things are not true. But they hang it on your neck. And you know how people, most of them go. They don't hear come.
These things can escalate tension in Rivers.
Because even those who are experts cannot really totally separate the fake videos from the real one. And that to me is the danger. Because right now, when the National Assembly wanted to do a law to regulate social media,
yes,
I'm not for it. But Yoruba will say, it is those who are hit most by the lie. You destroy a man's life. Maybe the guy's in a meeting or in a program, and then you plant fake news. For the 1 hour or 2 hours he'll be away, he will not even be aware that his character has already been assassinated. And by the time you come out to react, a lot of people have now piled on onto it. Remember the name of the MD of the company, of a bank, that somebody said was having an affair. And the guy had to be picked up and locked up for months. Only for him to apologize. And that's why he was cashing coups. Imagine destroying somebody's livelihood. He built over 40 years because he wanted to cash coups. I don't know the answer. I will not lie to you. When it comes to...
You just sit and lie against people.
A man who was not even... Remember the story of the man who was not even in the country. And they said he was there. And he did this on that day. He had to bring proof.
Bring proof that, hey, I was not, you know.
Well, you are referring to Reno.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine if there were no proof. Let's say he was sick.
If he didn't have the
evidence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If he did not have evidence to show that he was actually in Nigeria. He was actually outside the
Outside,
country.
time-stamped everything.
People will have believed.
You know,
In fact,
exactly.
people believe those things. They don't even give you a chance. They believe straight away. You know, and there is enough evidence that we can piece together to show that you should listen to the other side. Don't crucify a man before his accuser has even brought evidence. It's a very shameful piece of human behavior to condemn a man even when the accuser has not provided a shred of evidence. You know, so we learn in life, but the emotion, our people are too gripped by emotion that they allow their emotions to rule over them.
Okay.
And every decent human being should actually be in charge of his emotions. But people allow their emotions to rule. Ah, no, it's a fellow woman like me. Oh, no, I believe he can do it. You believe he can do it does not mean that he did it.
Exactly.
That is not the proof that he did it.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, but BKO, GKB, as veteran journalists, what would you tell Nigerians? You know, when they see a story, when they see some sort of news, how to differentiate if this news is real or fake?
People should not be in a hurry
To react.
you know, to react to what they see. I used to tell younger journalists in the newsroom that I prefer to miss a story than rush to go and put something that is not true on air.
First
And you
to
can-
break the news.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
just
you want
quickly-
to break the news, but you have to be patient.
Exactly.
In some cases, you have correspondent in the state. There was a day I got mad in the newsroom. We had a correspondent in the news in the
In
state.
the state?
We did not check with that correspondent.
Oh.
We just rushed, put a story on there, and it turned out to be fake. And now can I say, oh, so this is the attitude now, that you just see something on social media,
And
you slam it.
you go with it.
Was that the way I trained you? I asked her. He was almost crying because she could see that I was furious. He said, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. It won't happen. I said, if it happens again, there will be consequences. I didn't say more than that. I walked back to my office feeling very sad. When you put a story that is not true on here, or as an editor, you publish a story that is not true, you are overwhelmed by a sense of guilt because you feel that you have misled.
Exactly. Your
and
credibility
disappointed.
is at stake.
Yes,
Exactly.
it can cause real reputational damage.
Sure.
But in this day and age, many people don't even have reputation anyway. So because they don't have reputation, they don't care.
You can't lose what you don't have.
Yeah, hang on.
That's the
you can't
difference
lose what
between
you
a
don't have.
citizen journalist and you
So
know,
they
the
don't
well-trained
care.
journalist.
And when
But-
they put them, when they lock them up, people will now start shouting, oh, it's not
Justice
fair
for this
now.
person,
Justice-
no.
But the person who damaged another person's reputation, what does the person whose reputation has been damaged not deserve justice?
Exactly, exactly. But anyway, thank you so much. No table with veteran journalist, GKB. Appreciate you as always.
you very
BKO,
much.
thank you so much. And that's all on Journalist Hangout today. You can watch the repeat episode of this broadcast tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
station and all the passengers. Efficient, it's comfortable.
This development will go a long way in reducing congestion and emission.
The trains are a long-term solution to Lagos traffic challenges.
This is where we take the final, decisions on policies, programs of government. I will have to ensure that, the narration of Lagos as a PLC is taken very, very seriously.
This is a major pedestrian bridge linking Oyinbo here to Apapa Road over there.
With this over